כל השנה הלכות באורכו יום, לילה, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי. Today's Chai of Tishri is actually Hilula of who? Of Nachman Breslov. He was dying on the 18th of Tishri. Chai, to show you that tzaddikim never die. Tzaddikim never die, they're living forever. Because at the Shem, and we have a Yom Tov today, the 18th of Tishrei, Chol HaMoed. I actually don't write. My wife gives me a check yesterday, deposited. I said, hey, I don't sign, you know I don't sign checks. So I says, oh, what was your check for the shul? $1 million. You got a check, right? I said, well, the good thing is with Chase, the $1 million check for the shul, I don't have to deposit. I don't have to sign it. The business accounts, you don't have to sign the checks. You could just deposit it. Listen, Hashem, Moed is like Yom Tov. You're supposed to treat it like Yom Tov. You're supposed to enjoy, eat, rejoice, eat a lot of juicy steak, fat, honey, eat, whatever. Enjoy yourself. And of course, the main ikar of Yom Tov and Chol HaMoed is to learn Torah. So we're going to be doing the two mitzvot today. Today, mitzvah number 29, not allowed to worship idols. Number 30, we're not allowed to swear. Need this with Hashem's name, which is also include in this prohibition, using God's name in vain. Right? Some people say, I swear in God's name, all those things. Okay, it could be a problem. The word God is a problem. Can you just pronounce it like that? So there's a lot of rules that I should be discussing. Let's see. Mitzvah number, the mitzvah that's sponsored today, לרפואה שלמה לכל חולי עמו ישראל ובכללם לחיה בת לאה, יוסף חיים ומפרת, יעקב ישראל, דניאל בן אנג'לה, וגם עניינים רפואה שלמה. אוקיי, בעזרת השם. מתי, מה רפואה שלמה? יש לך? יש לך שמות לרפואה שלמה?
סליחה, פנחס יובל.
פנחס יובל בן?
בן
mother.
בן שרה.
Sarah. All right, let's go. mitzvah number 29. שלא לעבוד עבודה זרה, שום עבודה זרה בעולם בדברים שדרכה שעובדים אותה המאמינים בה. You prohibited to service any idol worship in any way where people are serving that idol worship, even if it's degrading. ואף על פי שאין עבודתה באחד מארבעה עבודות שאמרנו למעלה, מכיוון שעבודה במה שדרכה להיאבד. Now, there are 4 things that you're not allowed to do certain things with the idol. Even though those services that people perform in front of this idol, it's not one of those 4 things, which generally you're not allowed to do any. Let's say one of them that we said yesterday, bowing down. Even though this idol, nobody bows down to, for instance, a basketball player. All those creatures that people are worshiping, they're literally worshiping them, right? People they faint when they, I saw one time a basketball player sit next to a fan and she fainted. That's mamish like idols. People go to MJ's, the guy who was dark skinned and then he became white skinned. We don't want to say his name in the shul. The famous singer. People go to his concert, they die. They literally faint. People have to drag them out with ambulances left and right. So those are idols. They don't serve them. Maybe they have statues all over, by the way. People going crazy with the statues. So again, if that really, according to Chazal, today's generation, most rabbis consider all those is idol worshiping. Because one time, maybe make a connotation over here, or some kind of relevance. The rabbi said, once a woman approached the rabbi and she said, I don't understand. The pasuk says I have to cling to my husband and he has to control me. And it says the pasuk, and he controls me, right? Moshe really doesn't mean that, because she didn't understand the translation is wrong. It really doesn't mean, Moshe does not over there mean control. Over there means the husband will guide you. Moshe, really, in retrospect, the best king in the world is the king who guides his kingdom. He guides everybody, right? He doesn't rule over. He guides. This one does. Everybody has to be successful. The worst kingdom is where the king is successful and everybody else is not. So the best way, so Hashem tells a woman, let your husband guide you if you want shalom bayit. So she says, what does this mean that my husband is going to guide me and whatever, control me? So the rabbi answers her very beautiful, very cute. He says to her, let me ask you a question. If you were married to MJ, right? He says the name, the famous singer that died over that drug overdose, like most of them at 51. So everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you're married to MJ, do you need him to even tell you what he wants? He'll just look at you. What he wants, you'll melt in front of him, right? Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. So that's how you're supposed to treat your husband. Your husband has to be in your eyes like a king, like a god. It says in the pasuk, Yaakov Avinu tells Rachel Avinu, I am God, but I'm not God who creates, who could give children. I'm God who could procreate. I could give you a sperm to have a child, but I cannot inject into that sperm soul. It's a God, there's an ultimate God who does that. So, but in reality, that's what it says. Don't do business with a widow. Why not? Because her God died. Her actual physical aspect of a God in this world died. Again, so, but what are we talking about here? We're talking about here that any service performed to an idol that a person does will be chayav, will be obligated to punishment, after the warning, obviously. Even though, let's say there was one idol where they would throw feces, a human feces at it, all right, and that would be an idol worship. And if you did it, even though we have that what was the most hatred idol by God? Is that idol, right? That they have no respect for it. Humans have no respect for it. Just throw feces, human feces, number two, at an idol. What's going on with you, right? So that's the world's degradation, and that is also that is despised by Kadosh Baruch Hu. Or even throwing rocks. There are certain idols you throw rocks at it. That's part of the service of it, right? So in that case, that a person will be warned, don't throw, and he throws, he will be punished. שנאמר, ולא תעבדם, כלומר, it says that מה זה שערו לחמוש? If he passes over his hair, שכל אלו, הן דרכי העבודה של אותם מעללים, העובד באחד מקום, or maybe he brings its hair. רבי, מה זה, רבי פרידמן, מה זה שערו לחמוש? He gives the, המעביר שערו לחמוש. What? No, but he's saying that's how he served the God, idol. It says, "Uma'avir se'aro lichmosh." I don't know.
The Chemosh was the name of a god.
There's an idol. Okay, I didn't understand the word. Okay, so that's.
And then they grow their hair long and
chop it off and like something, some sort of similar like Nazirut, when we cut off the Nazirut and burn it. So like we had the wigs from India. The wigs from India. I have to hit every point possible. Ladies wearing wigs. Then they found out that all those ladies that were wearing wigs they were representing it to their idol, and then they were selling it to Europeans to wear black hair. You know, the Europeans, they're blondies. They want to black hair, brunettes. They buy the idol worship. So, Shneimar, as it says in the Pasuk, chapter 20 in Shmot, Pasuk Hey, 5th, below of them, don't serve it. Klamar, the Mashidar Kaleavid, Ezav, doesn't matter. Of them means it's service, whatever the word service. Obviously, everybody understands the purpose of this. We don't want any distractions. We want to have accountability. What people don't understand, most people don't understand. Unfortunately, all idol worship is one purpose and one goal. One goal of all idol worship is not to have any accountability. As you understand that all those priests, everybody knows it's all fake today. Everybody knows that there's no such a thing as whatever. This guy arose from the dead. Yeah, the body was missing. Yeah, the rats ate up the body, and Rahman Islam, his soul is still boiling in number 2 all day, every day till today. And they think he was resurrected. Nobody's seen him. Nobody's seen him since, right? Nobody's seen him, and he didn't get up and he made announcements to everybody. Nothing. He just disappeared. Okay. Again, they could do many. Today, Baruch Hashem, we have video to make things disappear. Like somebody showed me the other day, a bus is driving, and the bus, but the kids are making noise. Boom, kids disappear from the bus, and everybody believes, oh, wow, what happened to the kids? Come on. You have to be a nutcase to believe these things. So the rules over there, what happens in Sanhedrin. Chapter, page 64, first side, we'll discuss what happens in all those cases. It depends on what about the idol that, let's say, he worshipped this idol the way it's not supposed to be worshipped, but his intention was. So there's a lot of things goes with that also. Permission for males and for females anywhere and everywhere. You know how to do this. Anybody who is bowing down or serving this idol, right, worship this idol in a certain way, and there is witnesses that gave him a warning, he has to get stoned. Right? The most harshest, what's his name? Punishment. Stoning is one of the worst harsh punishment. They deem capital punishment. And very simple. What did he do, Rabbi? He just bowed down to this. He just took this idol and he put it into the water. In India, there's certain item they make a item and then they throw it in the river. Like this, the imbeciles with American imbeciles who don't know Indian customs. They thought that Indians are upset that this number 19, the number 19, the C19, whatever sickness we can't mention on YouTube. They go crazy. That number 19 sickness that everybody was upset. So they said, "Oh, you see, in India they stopped throwing they don't believe they're gods anymore. They're throwing them into the river."
Right.
So, and Americans go, "Wow, the sickness is so strong. Even Indians throwing out their idols, but they don't understand." That's how they serve their idol. Is they create an idol from the rocks and they throw it into the river. And who is the most praiseworthy? A guy who makes it out of metal. And even more praiseworthy, the one who makes it out of silver with metal. Ooh! And he takes the idol and he throws it into the river. That's its service. Throwing it into the river. People and Americans thought that they're upset because the sickness is too strong, even stronger than their idols. The whole thing is crazy. Anyway. And the Shnei mitzvot elu shimna Rambam. Okay, there's a whole discussion over here. The rabbi said, let's just skip this for now. Mitzvah number 30. Shelo lishava l'shav, using God's name. Wow. Shelo lishava levatala, as it says, you're not allowed to swear falsely in Hashem's name. Sheneimar, as it says over there, chapter 20, pasuk zayin, pasuk 7. Lo tisai Hashem elokech l'shav. You're prohibited to use Hashem's name in vain. There are 4 categories of way split into which way a person could use God's name in vain, which are, for instance, if he swears, I swear, and he says Hashem's name, this is not a box of tissues. Okay? What do you mean? Everybody says it's a box of tissues. So that's going to be one of those reasons. Or he says the stone is actually gold. It's not true. Whatever. All those types. Or something, another scenario. Or he says, you know what, I swear, and he says Hashem's name, that this is a box of tissues. He's also not allowed to.
It's also a problem, right?
That's right. They go on 11, okay? The third scenario, שנשבע לבטל מצווה או מצוות שיחייבונו השם ברוך הוא בהן. I swear I'm not going to put on tefillin in Hashem's name. Chas v'shalom. The Torah tells you to put on tefillin. That's Hashem's name in vain. שגם זה לבטלה לגמרי הוא, שאינו בידו הצד הרביעי. Because you cannot swear against God's mitzvahs. God's commandments is His commandments. You cannot. הצד הרביעי, the fourth commandment is a fourth side of using God's name in vain. שנשבע לעשות דבר שאין בו כוח לעשותו. He says, you know what? I swear I'm going to perform something. And he doesn't have a strength to perform it. For instance, I swear I'll give $10 million to the shul. You don't have $10 million to give. What are you swearing? Or he says, I swear I'm gonna create a building. I'm gonna build a building in 2 weeks. Unless he's I don't know what, Superman, I don't know. It's not very good, 2 weeks maybe. You know those construction companies, they have one day they're building on it. You know those show? What is it called? Building a house in a day or something? They come in with it's all fake. What do you mean building a house in a house? You need structure, you need the house to settle, you have so many things over there. The guy is making a swearing on something that he can't do. Yeshan, or somebody says, I will not sleep for 3 days. This is the comment, the Gemara language. If somebody says, I will not sleep for 3 days, then we're straight. Or he says, I'm not going to eat for 7 days. Right? All this is fakeness. He cannot do that. The rabbi tells us the purpose of this mitzvah is to know and to engrave in your heart, to strengthen your hearts and trust in Hashem. Hashem is, or blessed be He, is on high. There is He is the only existence. There's nothing else. And it's befitting us only because of that alone, that when we mention His name on Masenu, al Diburenu, on our deeds and all our language. I swear in God. Shalom. What are you swearing in God? I swear in God. I swear in God. First rule, you have to know that. If somebody who doesn't believe you, if you could swear till tomorrow, he's not going to believe you anyway. So that's the first rule. Don't swear. That's first rule. If you know God is Almighty, the King of the universe, why are you swearing in His name? What do you think this is? You want to? Was this a joke? Tell the guy, swear in your mother's name. Chas v'shalom. God forbid. He's not going to swear in his mother's name. He's afraid. A God is less important than your mother. I don't understand that. Where are you coming from? ונשארים בקיומם כמונו, אוקיי? ולא בקיומם הדברים ומדברים בדבר קל, כמו הדברים האהובים ונפסדים ואינם נשארים בקיומם כמונו אנחנו בני אדם ושאר דברי העולם השפל. It's not like you're putting Hashem like everything else in this world. You have to be fear and awe of God's name. Therefore, the Bana Askir Shemona HaKadosh לבטלה, חס ושלום to mention God's name just in vain. There's the punishment it gets a lot of lashes just for prescribing to such a behavior. Of course, Chas v'shalom is swearing something that he didn't do, and a person falsely lies. He promised to do something he didn't. שנקראת שבועת ביטוי, שבא עליה לאו אחר בפני עצמו, בסדר קדושים, תהיו כמו שנאמר. Over there, there's another prohibition. He swear to do something, and he didn't have intention even to do it. That's another prohibition in the Torah, chapter 19, in Vayikra, 12th pasuk, ולא תשבו בשמי לשקר, don't swear my name falsely. כי הנשבע בשם הגדול האמת דבר שהיה, הוא יודע ששקר בפיו. A person said, he lying through his teeth while swearing in God's name. הנה הוא Mekir be'yirad Elokim. He is not fearing of God's name. They might, Rabbi, they canceled the binyan or something because they had it yesterday, even late. They started 8:45 Hodu right away. That's how they did it yesterday. So I don't know. You're part of the chat on the group. You want to check it if they didn't cancel it there, then there's a minyan. They're talking about themselves. Before the rabbi leaves. If there's no talk, then the rabbi should go. And if there's a minyan, there is a minyan somewhere else. Okay, then.
I do actually. Hold on.
Let's
see what the chat says first.
Yeah, let's communicate. They're just checking. Minyan.
Last I saw, someone put a question mark 8:30 tomorrow, and no one responded.
Okay, there is no minyan. If there's no chatter, there is no minyan. Okay.
1 second, Rabbi. There, you know where our Villa radio show is?
Do you have a car? 1 second.
Right.
First of all, right now, the rabbi has a car.
Well, okay, but I can't walk there in time.
Oh, you don't have a car. I can take you there in a few minutes. It's up to you, but then I have to leave.
No, don't take him. Take him. It's okay. We understand the
I
part
can
of the
drop you
concept.
there, but then I'm going somewhere.
Okay,
How are you going to get home?
I'll call my wife.
Okay. Yeah?
All right, take the rabbi to the daven. We're just going to finish over here. Now, the importance of, don't forget your Yitrog Lulav.
I'll leave to come back tomorrow.
But make sure your Lulav has to say Lulav, otherwise you don't know it's Lulav. Chag Sameach. All right, Bezrat Hashem. Now, so much more so, a person has to be careful with Hashem's name. Chas v'shalom, to swear in it, proclaiming something that is not true, that even something is true. We know that there is a lot of stories that a person owed, he borrowed from somebody something, then he returned it, and in reality, the person who he returned it to did not mark it down. After a month, it comes to claim the money, swear to the Beit Din, and the guy did not swear, he just paid back the money second time, and that's it. The problem was that to use God's name, even if you know for a fact, it's a problem. Also another problem with singing songs. If you're using a whole pasuk, still is a question: can you use a whole pasuk for singing Hashem's name? There's a lot of discussion about that. Is that problem using God's name there? We Sephardim don't have that problem. As far as Ashkenazim, we have a very big problem with that. So again, every person obviously as is nahuk, but it's something to talk about, something to elaborate, and B'ezrat Hashem, As we said, using God's name in vain does get a person lashes if he was given a warning. And there's a lot of discussion over here in reference to this mitzvah. But Bezat Hashem, we're going to end it off here. Hag Sameach, Tizkur Shanim Rabot, Shana Tova U'Merechet. A wonderful, beautiful year and successful. Tizkur Shanim Rabot. ושמחת בחגיך והיית שמח. So just let's this off. ונוהגת בכל מקום ובכל זמן. The mitzvah is constantly applicable. בזכרים ונקבות, man and woman, ועובר עליה ונשבע על עמוד של שיש שהוא של זהב. So somebody goes ahead and swears and he says this rock is actually a gold, right? And it's not true. Or לבטל מצווה, or he swears using God's name, saying he's not going to put on tefillin, or he says, I will build this building in the day. If he did it on purpose and he got a warning not to do it, and he did it, okay, he gets lashes. Even though there is no deed here, why should he get lashed? He just spoke. Right? Speaking is not a deed. Still, we give him lashes because he used Hashem's name in vain. Chag Sameach.